going to dance and have some fun.
Well, you can dance if you really have to. I'm Cathy Dennis, and this is Not Fade Away, and it's my turn to play my favourite videos. And I'm going to start off by playing my favourite videos from my favourite year, which is in fact 1990. A great year for me. I was in America having lots of success and lots of fun. This is the first video, and it's by Delight, and it's called Groove is in the Heart.
I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another.
How about that then? Do you know, I saw them performing before they were even successful, and they were fantabulous even then. The next video I'm going to be showing you is DNA featuring Suzanne Vega with an infectious pop song called Tom's Diner. And I annoyed a lot of people loving this song, start doing the washing up and washing cars, and I'd suddenly break into anyway, see what happens to you. Here it is.
I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee.
That was Tom's Diner, Suzanne Vega, with a little help from DNA. One of the reasons why I really like that song is because I used to think that California was just an extension of Hollywood, and that Hollywood was just full of really plastic women. And Suzanne Vega's really changed my mind, because she's completely the opposite of that. But anyway, this next song is by Sinead O'Connor, also from my favourite year, which is 1990, and it's a song that I think really moved the world. Nothing Compares to You.
It's been 7 hours and 50 days since you took your love away.
That was Sinead O'Connor, and Nothing Compares to You, and it does, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, reminds me of a time when I was very busy in my life, visiting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, in fact I should have said thousands or millions, of radio stations, and once you've been to one, it felt very much like you'd been to them all. But anyway, I won't elaborate on that right now. I'm now going to play you Let Love Rule by Lenny Kravitz, an artist I really like. I just think he seems very natural, and I like the way that his music and his videos are not detached from each other, and it feels like it's not packaged at all, which is rather rare these days. Anyway, see what you think.
It's time to take a stand. Brothers and sisters, join hands. We've got to let love rule.
This is a great tune which reminds me of hot summer nights, being in LA and going to lots of wonderful parties and meeting lots of fabulous people. And no matter what you may think of Hollywood women, the fact that they all, you know, you have to wear a short skirt out there in order to be seen and to show that you have a great body. And I found when I was out there, I was trying to beat them at their own game, and I started wearing shorter and shorter skirts, and one day I looked down and I hadn't got any clothes on. Welcome back, I'm Cathy Dennis, and you're just in time to see my favourite artist, which is Blondie. I'll tell you about it later, but anyway, let's kick off with Heart of Glass.
What I love, and it was a gas. Soon turned out, not a heart of glass. Seemed like the real thing long into gone. Don't you mistrust, love's gone behind.
That's Blondie. Do you know, one of the reasons why I like Blondie so much is because my mum actually looks a little bit like her, believe it or not. And I've always looked upon my mum as being one of my idols, and I know that she's definitely been influenced by Debbie Harry, because she had exactly the same haircut once, and it's quite good though. Another reason I like Blondie is because she has a fantastic voice, and she also manages to be sexy without being sleazy and tacky, which is quite hard to do. It's also quite rare these days. But anyway, here's the next Blondie track, and it's called Denis, Denis.
Well, when we walk, it always feels so nice. And when we talk, it seems like paradise. Denis, Denis, I'm so in love with you. I'm in love with you.
I was being very self-indulgent by listening to that one, but it is called Denis. I was going to say it's called Dennis, but it's called Denis, and my name is Dennis, and I get a bit of a kick out of it. It's very sad, isn't it? Anyway, I remember actually at the time that when that single came out, I was at school, and I noticed that she was wearing stripy clothing, and I decided that I was going to try and wear a stripy V-neck to school, and I was asked to remove it by a teacher. I was very upset. Anyway, the next one is Picture This, and oh my God, her hair's getting bigger. Watch out, it might explode.
All I want is a room with a view, a sight worth seeing, a vision of you. All I want is a room with a view. Yeah.
This is Hanging on the Telephone, which reminds me of how I got started in the business. I was singing in clubs for a few years, and eventually met somebody when I was 17 who said he wanted to manage me. But he said in order to do that, I needed to move to London, which meant leaving the security and safety of my lovely little Norwich. But anyway, I'm fine, I survived. And here is Hanging on the Telephone. See what you think.
All those things she said, I told you to ignore. Oh, why can't we talk again? Oh, why can't we talk again? Oh, why can't we talk again?
This is The Tide Is High, and it has my favourite Blondie hair and makeup. And it reminds me of a time when I was at school, and I was being very naughty actually, trying to just generally annoy teachers by pulling silly faces and developing stupid voices and just trying to be the centre of attention, you know. There's always one, isn't there? It was me.
The tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one. I'm not the kind of girl, I'm gonna be your...
That was it from Blondie, but don't you dare go away, because next I'm going to show you some of my favourite singles of all time, and they include Madness, Prince and Me. Welcome back, I'm Cathy Dennis, and I'm going to play you some of my favourite singles of all time, kicking off with the Pet Shop Boys and West End Girls, a song which reminds me of the year that I moved to London. And I was coming down here trying to find somewhere to live, and I'd come down on the coach and I was listening to my Walkman, and I always used to listen to this song, and because I was excited about, for the first time in my life, being a West End girl. Anyway, novelty's worn off now.
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand, it's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town.
This is Madness, and It Must Be Love, and I've got very fond memories of Madness actually. When I was at school, and you weren't cool if you were a boy and you didn't like Madness and ska. So I think most people did. Anyway, here it is, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I will.
And I never thought I'd feel this way, the way I feel about you.
God, wasn't that great? Do you know, I saw Suggs recently well, I kind of almost bumped into him literally in Newcastle, and he looked exactly the same. He hasn't changed a bit in, what, 17 years or something. And he was just as sweet and cute and nice as I thought he would be. Anyway, the next one I'm going to play is one of mine, and it's, you may not know, originally was recorded in the 60s by the Kinks, and there's 10 points to be won for guessing who is the celebrity cab driver.
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the night. People so busy, make me feel dizzy. Taxi light shines so bright.
Yes, you get 10 points. It was actually Ray Davies from the Kinks, who well, I met about a year ago, and funnily enough, our first meeting was quite embarrassing. We'd arranged to meet in a pub in South London, and I'm notorious for being late, and apparently so is he. And on this occasion, I happened to be early, and so did he. And there was no management there because we were so early, so I walked into this pub being very nervous because I thought, well, I might not even recognise Ray. I mean, I haven't seen his picture for a few years. So I walked into this pub, and he was sitting in the corner, and it was obvious it was him. And I was so relieved. I was actually really happy, and, you know, did a great big wave and everything. Hi! And he just thought that I was another one of his female groupies. And I was very upset about that. Anyway, we're on really good terms now, me and Ray. Here is a great girl band, and they say it for themselves, and it's Manic Monday. That was the Bangles, and I actually met Susanna Hoffs a few times, and she's very sweet. She's also very small, but anyway. That song was written by Prince, and funnily enough, so is the next one, as I'm sure you'll be aware. 1999, one of the greatest singles ever, I think. There he is, Prince in all his glory. Well, I told you that I'd tell you about my next meeting with Prince, and I will, even though it's, again, incredibly embarrassing. I got invited to his birthday party a couple of years ago, and I don't normally drink very much, but on this occasion I had a little bit too much. So I finished up going to the toilet after a couple of hours to be sick, unfortunately. And would you believe that I was just coming out of the toilet and I bumped into Prince, and I had to say to him, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I've just been sick." Anyway, you had to be there at the time, and it was incredibly embarrassing, and but I have got over it now. Well, that's the end, and you're probably confused and thinking, what on earth was that all about? Well, phone in or write in and tell me, because I'd love to know. Anyway, it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, and maybe see you again one day. Thank you. Bye-bye.